Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Fictional type series. So I'm currently in college and I have been for about a month. So I haven't really had time to do this, and so there's been kind of an extended break on the channel. But I am ready to get back into it and I'm excited to do so. Okay, so today we will be typing Twilight Sparkler from the My Little Pony series. Friendship is Magic specifically. So she has typed ISTJ on the personality database in Myers-Briggs. We're not really using that, but it's just useful to see, generally what she is thought to be already, just so we can get kind of a general idea of the stereotypes that she might fall into. So we're going to start by viewing some videos and go from there. Okay, so in this video we see one of Twilight's freakouts, so we can get an idea for the Observer Decider coin.
It's fine. It'll all be fine. The day isn't over yet, but it will be over soon. Ugh. It'll be all over. My time in Ponyville, my advanced studies. No, you're a good student. You can do this. Oh, but what if I can't? You can. You just have to keep it together. Keep it together.
Are you talking to yourself? Twilight? Snap out of it! Huh? Are you okay? Twilight, I'm really worried. I mean, this letter thing is really getting to you. Here, you've been so anxious all day that you completely forgot about the picnic. Why don't you just relax and go hang out with
The picnic!
Okay, so far we can see that we're observing this whole, this idea of getting stuck forever. And in one of the recent classes, it was a video where Dave and Chan were trying to process Demon Annie. In fact, I think it was titled Processing Demon Annie. They were talking about getting stuck forever on something, and how kind of the SIs or just IJs in general are really scared of being stuck forever due to this thing. And you can kind of see here that Twilight is kind of really scared about saying, well, I won't be able to turn this one paper in. So because of that, I'll be kicked out of school and I'll go nowhere in life, and 40 years down the road, I'll still be stuck with this thing. And in that specific class episode, Dave describes how he's afraid that just because he can't get the camera to work, hypothetically, he won't be able to be present for his son's graduation, which they're completely unrelated, and it doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of exactly what we're seeing here, just for context, just because Twilight couldn't submit her kind of weekly report to her mentor on time because she didn't have anything to write about. She's assuming that her entire life will be over, and all of her work as well will have been for nothing, which definitely shows us that it's kind of a similar fear to what was described in the Demon Annie class video.
I should go see my friends.
I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Please tell me I did not forget the plates. I did. I totally forgot them. Of all the worst things that could happen, this is the worst possible thing. Why? What? You didn't expect me to lay on the grass, did you?
You all right, hon?
No! I am not all right.
What? Oh, no.
I don't
What
quite
can we do?
understand. It's just terrible.
Yes?
Simply awful.
Yes?
It's the most horrific trouble I've ever been in, and I really, really, really need your help.
Yes?
My letter to Princess Celestia is almost overdue, and I haven't learned anything about friendship.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought something really awful had happened.
sugar cube, but it looks like some ponies getting themselves all worked up over nothing.
This is not nothing. This is everything. I need you guys to help me find some pony with a problem I can fix before sundown. My whole life depends on it! Oh, Twilight, you're such a crack-up.
Come on now. Have a seat and stop sweating the small stuff.
Wow, I've never seen Twilight so upset before.
Ugh, what a drama queen.
Relatively speaking.
Okay, so what it's really important to process from this video is just the contrast between how Twilight is acting and how all her friends are acting. And I think, actually, I'll go back to this just to show you. So I think one of the most important parts of this to see is just how, Rarity's throwing the fake observer fit so that the tribe, responds or reacts to it, because she's the, lead FE here. No spoilers. She's the lead FE here. And so she's kind of trying to get the tribe's attention, trying to bounce off the tribe, trying to get everybody to react. And so she's kind of throwing this plate fit. The plates, I forgot to bring them, the sensory stupid, all of that stuff. The things are such a hassle, controlling chaos, there's so much chaos because I forgot these plates. And then she's just kind of showing off. She's just saying, oh, look at my problems, look at how funny this is, tribe, do you like me, are you looking at this? And then she just immediately passes it, by. So this is kind of, yes, this is an observer freak out, but then it's definitely pretty scripted, and it's very obvious that it's not a real problem here for Rarity. And then, Twilight comes in like this, just completely freaking out over her assignment being due, that she hasn't completed. Like, guys, this is a real problem, this isn't fake, and they're just not taking it seriously at all. And then even Rarity was the one freaking out about the plates, and she was, having the little observer fit at the beginning. And now you see here at the end, she's the one calling Twilight crazy. So to break that down, she's having this little fake observer fit, or mini observer fit, over the plates. And then she immediately drops that and makes fun of the person who's having a real SI freakout. So it's pretty obvious from this that Twilight's an observer, and definitely an IJ, for sure. And I think it's pretty clear as well from this that we can conclude she's SI. She seems to just kind of be spiraling off in these possibilities, like she could lose her scholarship, if you will. She could lose she could lose her relationship with her mentor, and all these horrible things could happen. So she really quickly needs to get the thing taken care of so she can just ward off these possibilities, which seems like a very savior sensing, savior SI thing. It doesn't seem as much like NI. So this next clip I won't play all of, but I just want to give you another bit of evidence for SI, essentially.
Slumber 101. All you've ever wanted to know about slumber parties but were afraid to ask.
My own personal copy. It's a fantastic reference guide. You should see the
So as you can see here, Twilight Sparkle just has this one reference guide to help her deal with all of the chaos of slumber parties, and she's never dealt with this concept before, this thing happening. So she has to actually have a full manual in order to process it and get through it, which again is very SI-like. So the rest of this is very SI-like as well, so I'd like to play that too.
Oh, pretty. Where did these come from? They're not in the book.
So again, she's expecting that everything's going to follow her little linear, rule book here for how this event is supposed to occur, just because she's never been through this before, and so she's kind of not even able to process that these new things were possible, or that these new things could happen. So again, it definitely seems like very high SI, and she definitely seems to be living in living in some kind of circus show, is I believe how Dave once put it. Kind of only being able to see half of the information, constantly being surprised by all of the new things that couldn't have possibly been predicted from the old known facts. Okay, so from this video, I'd like to just, or with this video, I'd like to just suggest that she's not Blast last, and perhaps also start to narrow in on what her decider axis is.
Oh, that was very thoughtful of you. It's just some of the icing from the extra cupcake is getting all over the one next to it. See?
Oh, sure.
It's just that I'm planning on sharing these at a picnic later, and I don't want any pony to feel like some pony else is getting more icing.
Oh, no, of course not.
Not to worry. I'll just move some of this one to... I think I may have scooped too much. Oops, now those two have more. Let's just try this again. No, that won't do. Let me just put some here, then... No, that's not right. Maybe we're on this one. Wait. I'll just... Ooh, a little bit here, and perfect.
And this clip is basically to show again that she likely has high blast. In fact, this is to show that she's savior blast, at least somewhere in her stack, based on how comfortable she is controlling and bossing the tribe around in this.
I never thought it would happen. My friends have turned into complete jerks! Necklace, 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 and big crown thingy! Come on, every pony, let's go!
But Twilight, aren't you missing some pony?
Nope, we got the liar, the grump, the hoarder, and the brute. That just about covers it.
What about Rainbow Dash?
Congratulations, Spike. You're the new Rainbow Dash. Now let's go!
Me? But what if been impersonating her? Ugh, that won't end well.
Too bad. You're Rainbow Dash. Now let's go defeat Discord so we don't ever have to talk to each other again.
So I think this one is interesting, firstly because she's obviously being very blasty here, but secondly because it seems almost like Spike, the little dragon character, is being more deciderish. Like, okay, well, what if, you know, the person where I'm stealing the identity of doesn't like having her identity stolen? What if she negatively values me from that? And what if we're not friends anymore? And what if the people don't like me? And then Twilight over here seems to really not care about that at all, and just to not be concerned at all with what the people are doing and how they'll feel. Almost like she's just more concerned with having the certainty and just getting the chaos sorted out more than she is concerned with dealing with people and you know, protecting the feelings of the people and such. In fact, the villain they're defeating is named Discord, which again is potentially some kind of reference to the fact that she's being very OI in this. Not that the creators would have considered that, but simply that it does conceptually fit in this case. So finally, this is where we decide on Twilight's deciders and figure out what savior and demon she is, by just kind of seeing the dynamic in this episode and seeing what exactly she's freaking out about on the decider axis. Even though it is a smaller freak out, and it's not as serious as the observer freak out, of course, or as serious as, say, Rarity or Spike, as most likely deciders would have these freakouts. But you can definitely see she's freaking out about one of her deciders hurting the other one in this video.
But it's still not funny. It's funny if you were there. But I wasn't there. I wasn't included. Maybe it's my own fault for staying in and having a booksorcation when I could have been making jokes and memories and having a great time with my friends. But I didn't do that, did I? You all did. You were all there, but... I wasn't there. I missed out. And seeing you having all these jokes I wasn't a part of and couldn't understand made me...
Jealous?
No. The Princess of Friendship can't get jealous.
Okay, so firstly, we can very obviously see that she is having some kind of FE issue. So she didn't do enough FE, she wasn't caring about the tribe, and because of that, you know, she missed out on some fun stuff with them. And then at the end there, we can see she definitely has this, you know, kind of heightened sense of self. She sees herself as being just so much greater than her friends seem to see her, which again suggests the DI. So if we do the math here, well, she's obviously T above F. If you've just seen her so far, she cares a lot more about, you know, how things work and such, and trying to make sure the problem's solved, the villain is defeated, than she does care about how people are feeling about it, or if the tribe's happy with her. And then we can also easily see from this, firstly, that she's Demon FE down here, or I guess up here, as her as her demon function in the middle, that she's missing out on the tribe experiences, and she's sad about that she was neglecting her friends. We can also see she's very ST. She definitely has the ST. And then finally we can see that she's DI in a savior state. She's kind of got this attitude about herself, like she's the final judge of things, and like she's too important by herself to possibly be jealous. So, you know, I'm too good for those emotions, I guess. So also you can see it's easily her identity, her plan, her process over in the earlier videos that we watched that she cares about. And she's really trying to submit her letter in on time because, you know, it matters to her, and she doesn't want to lose that future that's a part of her identity. So I think it's quite obvious so far that we've got someone who's SITI here so far. Also, we know that she's Savior Blast, based on how willing she is to blast, and how quick she is to blast and organize for the tribe, compared to just, you know, gathering information in for herself. And now all we really have is play versus consume last, and then we have the modalities here, or the modality for the type as well. So I hope this video will help, firstly in confirming the Savior DI, and secondly in finally getting this MDI versus MDE polarity taken care of.
You were right, Twilight. They were breathtaking.
Well, we wish you'd been here to see it, Sweet Pea, but we're sure you're making a whole bunch of cruise ponies happy.
I'm so happy I could cry.
Oh, yeah. The cruise ponies are happy, my family is happy, even Iron Will is happy. You know who isn't happy? Me!
My hoof!
I'm sorry, but maybe that wouldn't have happened if you weren't practically standing on my tail. Not even my real family stands so close. Ugh.
So it's easy to see this as some kind of demon DI freakout, or demon masculine DI freakout, where she's just flowing with people, making people happy, and then she'll kind of go into this swing where she's punching people with her identity. But then, see, I found that with the demon FEs, or demon feminine FEs, they'll kind of flow with the tribe because they're scared of hurting the tribe, and then they'll accidentally, you know, not right. They'll avoid taking care of their identity because of that. So even though they're, let's say, masculine TI leads at the top, you know, that bottom feminine FE will kind of take over those situations, and then they'll be mad that they did it, and then they'll freak out. So she's not here saying, "Oh man, I've been, you know, neglecting my demon DI." Here, she's basically saying, "All right, I did the FE, I did the blast, I was flowing with the tribe, I was not stepping on their hooves." But then they just kind of, you know, they came too close, they started stepping on me, so that kind of cat energy, like, well, they were unkind to me for too long, now I'm going to attack and pounce and step on someone. So it's not like she's always like this, and that's kind of where people get the MDE versus MDI backwards. It's not like she's always punching people and then becoming flowy. She's going along with it, just being polite, hating it because it's still a demon, but then eventually just saying, "Oh man, I've been neglecting what I'm responsible for, which is the savior identity. Now I'm going to punch you and step on your hoof, and, you know, be rude to you." She even said here in part of it that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been so close to me. You know, I don't let people so close to me, essentially, or rather, her family was not allowed to be as close, which is pretty much the same thing. Just, okay, I'm fine with people. You know, it's not your fault, but you came too close to my little DI bubble. You came too close to my identity, and now I'm going to pounce. Cat energy. Very much cat energy. Very much masculine DI. Even though it kind of doesn't seem like it is, just because she's punching people. And also it seems like this is backwards too. Firstly, you've got to watch, is she actually happy with this? Is she happy with or responsible for the FFE? Or is she just kind of going along with it, and then she gets mad that she's been going along with it? And then also, is she punching right away and then kind of drawing back, or is she being pushed this whole time over the whole period of this cruise, and then she's finally lashing out after all of it, after being uncomfortable? So finally, we're about 22 minutes into this video. We have pretty much everything we need, except we have consume last versus play last, and then we have masculine versus feminine sensory. I have the answers to these. I've watched most of the show, not recently, but I watched it when I was younger, and I remember plenty of scenes that specifically point to her being masculine sensory, and definitely consume last. But I'd like to find a few more videos here that will kind of demonstrate that as well. So I've had a lot of trouble in preparation for this video finding any videos here. But I will say she is masculine sensory. Specifically, there's a scene where Applejack needs to find, or the orange one, needs to kind of call Twilight or find Twilight in some way. And so she goes up to Twilight's desk and just knocks her inkwell off slightly. Or moves it, tilts it slightly, pushes it, so pushes it away, and then Twilight immediately just freaks out and runs over and fixes it. So that's where my reasoning is for the masculine sensory, and also just how freaked out she is about all the lists. Actually, I can find that clip probably, the lists, and then she's kind of figuring out which list was her list of lists and such. Just have to follow the rules. She has to follow the rules. She cannot jump off and do something new. And with the masculine NEs, even in ISJs, it's easier for them to do that and rely on that. But she definitely seems to really be trusting in the sensory and really be fully relying upon the sensory here. In what we, like this, for instance. She cannot guess here. Alright, so this certainly isn't a very good video in quality or in content pertaining to OPS. But I think this might possibly help us reinforce the masculine sensory a bit, in that firstly she's definitely responsible for her SI and she's confident in her ability to improve with it, but also that she's that level of confidence can be kind of equated to being a function that's masculine that she definitely will push from or push against.
Applejack, please. If there's a list involved, I am 100% on top of it.
Right.
And don't worry about things here. Spike and I have totally got this.
Okay, so I think it's pretty clear from this that she is super confident in her ability to deal with anything that is sequential, organized, sensory. So it's, again, it could just be that it's a savior state because she's responsible for it and she'll be confident in it anyway. It could just be that, it's her job. The ST is her job, so of course she's going to be good at it. But I'm going to take this and also the clip I had in mind that I'm very sorry that I cannot share, and just make the leap of masculine sensory. So, and have we seen anything else? Have we seen any evidence of... I haven't seen any evidence of anything but masculine sensory. But kind of being shovey with things and... stepping on the hoof, yeah, exactly. Just being willing to punch things, being willing to fight, just fight against the things, and obviously just resting upon the list, resting upon the facts constantly. I know it's impossible, really, without more evidence to conclude whether this is a savior thing or if it can be extended to being masculine sensory. But since I do want to get to a 512 type here, yes, at the cost of accuracy, I want to type all of the characters this way. I am willing to say it's masculine sensory, at least kind of tentatively, in case I need to correct that in the future. In fact, I already need to correct. Homer is actually Fini. I got the decider versus observer coin wrong. I'm going to make a formal video, just a small video correcting that eventually, updating that. But yes, Homer is actually Fini, not Ni-Fi. My only reasoning was her T is pretty good, and then also I believe she's Blast Above, possibly Blast Above Consume. So I can make an update video on that once I figure out how exactly I want to format a retyping update video. Then I'll figure that out. But just for now, she's ISFP, not INTJ. I say that because I want to show that even though I'm making leaps here, I do want to go back and correct what I do make mistakes on when that does happen. So I think this video is maybe going to help a bit, just kind of seeing the animal stack here to see if she's missing play, as in so random about the tribe, or random new possibility pertaining to the tribe's values, or if she's missing the random new possibility, new information, random stuff about herself.
I'd like to see you three in my office. I know we wanted to be invited inside, but it kind of went different in my head. I can't believe you'd do something like this. Like what? You are Cozy Glow's tutors, aren't you? We've been working with her for days. That's what she told me. So you've been setting her up to fail? How? I know you're upset that I won't let you come to my school, but to teach Cozy all the wrong things out of spite, that's just cruel. But we taught her all the right things. Then how do you explain these friendship test answers? What are the 6 elements of harmony? 5 turtlenecks and a cheese grater? Who is the princess of friendship? Your mom? I don't understand. Me neither. I never thought you three would pull such a mean prank. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to stay away from my school and my students.
So again, in this, the MDI is still a bit fuzzy. She's kind of having some politeness there, like, I'm sorry I have to ask you to leave. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave. We kind of get that. But then also she is being kind of bossy, so we can't really see much there. So again, we're just going to have to trust for now that she's double masculine ST. That kind of makes sense. We just kind of have to go along with it for now. But I definitely think this fits the cat energy fit we saw on the cruise earlier. And then obviously masculine sensory. So this list says, this fact says, this test, this student you were tutoring took this test and she got a low score, therefore you're bad tutors. But wait, what about this possibility? What about, isn't it possible that she could have just, not paid attention in the tutoring sessions? And, okay, I actually haven't seen this episode. This is I haven't kept up with the show. This is from after I watched it. But basically, the students that have tutored the student who's taken this test are definitely not the lying type, and you can tell from this that that's not the real problem. It's not what's really going on here. But she's not willing to consider any of these possibilities at all, because the single factual evidence bit in front of her is just so solid and rigid in one direction. It's not movable. She's not movable. She's going to use this fact and just push from it. And then finally, the point of this is she going to be consuming or is she going to be playing? And sadly, I don't think we got as much from this as I really wanted to. I want to say she's got the double she's got the this site. Okay, this, I'm just gonna complain for a second. This optics thing is going downhill. Like, I really wish it would just I could find an older version from before they changed things. I liked it when it was MS and FS. I liked it when it said Decider and Observer, not Energy and Info. Actually, I think Rob has an older version of this. I'm going to have to switch to that because this is completely unusable. What is this garbage? But anyway, no offense if you made this. It's still a good thing. It's just leave an older version somewhere for me. Let's watch that again to see those specific parts. Okay, so here she's taking a moment to go over the old information, to just go over the facts. Even though she has already had this, she's already looked at this before calling them in, she's got to go over those known facts again, go over the sensory, Just make sure everything's right.
I can't believe you do something like this.
And then she goes to the shame. She goes to the FE. I can't believe you do this. I can't believe this fact, this little test thing, would be organized in such a way that the tribe would see it as shameful. So we would negatively value you, essentially. So she immediately goes from the sleeping directly to the blasting. She's presenting a point to someone. And now we need to see after this, is she going to some kind of consume, or is she going to some kind of play? Okay, so now the CMC, the Cutie Mark Crusaders group, they're going to ask Twilight, what exactly happened here? Why are we in trouble? And Twilight's going to do something that I see as play, that I see as she's trying to kind of gather the information as a group. She's trying to bounce this off of them in a very Mr. Rogers way, as in Mr. Rogers is kind of taking the toys and saying, hey kid, how does this work? Hey kid, can you make a garage out of these blocks? Which was actually a real episode of the show. And then the kid's doing it and he's just saying, okay, well, let's put a car inside of it. And that part well, none of that is true to this story of the episode that I'm referencing. But the point is that he's going to kind of have, a toy or a game and say, hey kid, let's do this thing. And then it's going to be very back and forth, reasoning together, vibing together, and such, like we're about to see.
Like what? You are Cozy Glow's tutors, aren't you? We've been working with her for days. That's what she told me.
So I see this as like new random pulling up as a group, getting as a group this information like, well, you are Cozy Glow's tutor, aren't you? Well, yeah, of course we are. Oh, okay, well, I knew that. I'm asking a rhetorical question. I'm trying to ping. I'm trying to get you to pay attention and to listen. And you'll see someone like Sam Harris, who is Play Last Sleep Lead. Very similar type to this, actually. Well, okay, not really, but in the saviors and the modality. But essentially, you can kind of see he doesn't really do that. He's not going to ask, okay, well, what do you think? Rhetorically, I mean, he does it to gather the information. He does it as a part of a blast, but he's never going to ask a rhetorical question just to move the thing along. He's not going to go back and forth to try to move the conversation or the flow of the energy along like Twilight's doing here. So I think it's easy to say she's not missing the play, and she's not really saying, I found this new thing about you. I discovered this new information, about Cozy Glow, or about that you've tutored her incorrectly. She's always going over the known information when it is about her. So I want to continue with this clip just to kind of get this double extroverted energy idea more fleshed out.
That's what she told me.
I don't understand.
Me neither. I never thought you three would pull such a mean prank. I'm afraid of... Who is the princess of friendship? Your mom?
I don't understand.
Me neither.
This is another thing that I would identify as play. Just kind of the not really reasoning together, but again, learning as we go. This whole thing's very learning as we go. And then we get this little bouncing off, pinging off, where Twilight is kind of trying to copy or adapt to them while they're speaking and change on the fly for their reactions, which is not missing in play. If this were all pre-scripted, it would definitely be a play last situation. If it would all be pre-scripted, all very easy to predict. But it's obviously the case that Twilight is throwing some random things in here, throwing some random new information in for the tribe, which makes it much more play-like. So I think we have more than enough evidence to conclude at this point that Twilight Sparkle's full type is MF-SITI, Sleep, Blast, Play, Consume, Last. So sadly, once again, the personality database is kind of right in the general direction. Unfortunately, thankfully, since I was wrong about Homer, actually, personality database was completely off about her by 3 letters, actually, although they kind of got the functions generally right. So thankfully, I was wrong on the first one, and actually these guys are wrong. But I really don't know how to fix this. I don't know how I'm going to correct that video. I can't just remake it at this point. That would be stupid to remake all of my old videos when they're wrong. but it's very obvious she's FINI. When I think about it and when I look at it. So I guess I'll make a correction video. Will I make a separate playlist for the correction series? Will I add it in the... I don't want to add it in the main, fictional type playlist. So I guess I'll make a correction series. So I'll have to work out exactly how it'll look on the channel. And that's what's stopping me from doing it. But I'll figure out the organization eventually. But anyway, so the point is we have her type, thankfully. So that was fun. That was good. I guess that's really all I have here, except I want to show that the videos seem to be getting longer. So we went from 8 minutes to 10 minutes to 18 minutes, and this one was incredibly thorough at around 40 minutes. So, I mean, it's obvious I'm becoming more experienced, I think, at least in my opinion. I'm getting better at this as I go, more experienced in the system. But then also maybe my standard for evidence, standard of proof is getting a little higher for these. So expect some long videos like this in the future, but hopefully they won't all be crazy. But yeah, so thank you for watching. Subscribed already, you may do so. And just make sure to watch the old videos if you haven't yet, and stay tuned for next time.